Hi Pippa.
Hello.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Pippa and I'm studying French, Spanish and History at Skipton Girls for my A-levels.
And why did you choose these particular subjects?
I chose them well. I really enjoyed learning languages at GCSE and I just wanted to become more fluent in the language and also learn a bit more about the cultures.
And do you think that the choice was wise? Or they go well together?
French and Spanish definitely complement each other because it's kind of like the same course, not the exact same things, but it's like kind of the same courses that we're learning about.
Very good. And what is the best part of language learning for you?
I'd say I really enjoy speaking one-to-one with Marisol and Isabel because it just gives me a chance to learn a bit more about myself and learn more about the cultures in France and Spain.
And do you think you are getting more fluent in French and Spanish?
Yes, definitely improving and being able to think in the language as well instead of thinking in English and then trying to convert it.
And what are your plans for the future?
I want to join the RAF and continue learning languages in the RAF.
Brilliant. So what would you do with your languages? More like travelling? Or?
Yeah, travelling and learning different languages. They'll give me an opportunity to learn different languages.
Right. Okay, so you'll be a polyglot.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, how about you, Ruby?
Hi, I'm Ruby. I'm studying French, German and psychology at A-level.
So why did you choose these three subjects?
Well, I've always enjoyed languages and it sort of interests me more than any other subject. And
why is that? Why?
I always found it quite fun to be able to have the new skill that not everyone has, and I found I was, better at it than the other subjects.
Very good. And now German is not taught at Skipton Girls, is it? It's taught at Ermisted's. And how do you find that? Is it easy to do, to go from one place to another?
Yeah, it's fine. It's not really a long walk, and it splits up your day anyway. It gives you maybe something a bit different instead of being in the same place all day. So that's quite fun.
And do you feel that your subjects fit in well together? You're happy with the choice you made?
Yeah, I think so. Especially doing two languages. A lot of the skills you learn in one you can also use in the other one, and which helps you to be able to do better in both, I think.
Are the courses very similar in French and German, or are they?
Not really. You actually learn different things. You cover different topics in both. I've not really done any that have been the same yet. So that's really interesting.
So at least it's varied.
Yeah, then it's less confusing.
And what do you plan to do, either uni or later on?
I'm not sure yet, but there's a lot of opportunities that you can have when you're doing languages. There's also different courses you can do and different things you can go into, so it leaves all of your options open.
And would you pick a language as your main thing, or would you pick a course at uni that is with a language, do you think?
Probably language is the main part, because that's what I'm most interested in, and there's not really anything else that I'd like to do.
Okay. Right, well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Hello, could you introduce yourselves?
My name's Fran. I do chemistry, biology and French.
I'm Molly and I do chemistry, biology and French.
So you both do the same subjects. So Molly, why did you pick those three subjects for A-level?
I like sciences, I like languages, and I thought there'd be quite a good sort of combination of the sciencey side and also sort of English and the variety of things you study in French as well.
Is it the same for you?
Yeah, pretty much. I was actually considering doing physics as all three sciences, but then I thought it would be a nice break from just complete sciences, so I chose to do French.
And do you think it is a break? Do you think it offers something different?
Yeah, it's completely different to the sciences. Yeah.
Brilliant. And do you think that you are getting more fluent in French?
Yeah, 100%. I think we have it obviously double as much as we did at GCSE, so you're speaking it a lot more and writing a lot more, so you're going to get more fluent as the years go on.
Yeah, same. I think the increased amount that we're doing it just makes it so much easier to get more fluent, and we have more speaking as well, whereas last year it was more when we had speaking tests, and occasionally if we could fit in, but now it's like every week we get to do speaking.
So why is it every week? What do you have that
We
makes?
have like the French assistant person
Mhm.
who comes and does speaking with us. So,
Mhm. And do you think that it's a one-to-one, isn't it?
yeah.
Does it help that it's a one-to-one?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really good because she can sort of give you sort of specific things you need to work on,
Mhm.
and she corrects you there and then instead of letting it go on for a long time before it becomes an issue like in your exam.
Brilliant. What is it that you like in particular in languages, in language learning?
I mean, I like learning about the culture and like obviously like we're studying French, the culture of France, but just sort of in general because even we don't just do France, obviously we did like French speaking countries and like GCSE and that sort of thing. So
Mhm.
Yeah, same. It's not just learning the language, it's also about learning the culture and like everything that comes with it. It's really good.
Very good. And what are your plans for the future? So, if you have any yet?
I think I want to study sort of a science-related degree, but have one that does like a year abroad,
Mhm.
or a year of like language study.
And is it possible to find such degrees?
Yeah, I've found quite a few that do a year abroad in France or other places.
Or a French-speaking
Field.
country?
Yeah.
Brilliant. How about you?
I'm pretty certain I'm doing medicine at the minute,
Mhm.
but I do want to take a gap year and potentially become like a ski instructor, so I can use the French for doing it, and so I can go to France. I also did German GCSE, so I can go to Germany. So languages like keep my options open as well.
Very good. Do you think that French will help you even as a doctor? Are there certain skills that you
Yeah, because with the French, I can communicate with more people, so that's the big thing with being a doctor, like being able to communicate with people.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time, and we can see that it's going to be Halloween, so joyeux Halloween! Hi, so Cadence, tell us a little bit about you.
So I'm Cadence, I'm in year 13 and I do French, Spanish, history and maths at A-level.
And why did you choose this subject?
I always knew that I wanted to do both languages at A-level, and then I decided that history really interested me as well, but then I wanted to not just have kind of languages and history, so I chose to do maths as well, to have a bit more of a mix.
Very good. And do you think they fit in well together?
I definitely think French, Spanish and history mix in very well together, because even between Spanish and history, French and history, there's a bit of overlap. So my French IRP I've chosen to do on the Dreyfus Affair, which is anti-Semitism in France, and then I've also been able to link that to my history coursework, which is anti-Semitism in France.
What's an IRP?
So that IRP is the independent research project, which you get to choose the topic completely, as long as it's to do with the French or Spanish-speaking world. And it's a presentation that you do at the end of the year, essentially, and you get asked questions about it.
And have you enjoyed doing that?
Yeah, particularly my Spanish one. I'm doing the Aztec Society for my Spanish one.
Brilliant, excellent. So what's the best part of language learning for you?
I think it's very rewarding being able to speak to the two foreign language assistants, Isabel and Marisol, because you're able to hold a conversation with a native speaker, and then it's very rewarding to know that you have the ability to be able to do that. And then also I enjoyed the cultural side of it, so being able to understand a bit more of songs and films in the other language, that's the important part for me as well.
So do you think you're more fluent than when you were at GCSE?
Definitely, a lot more fluent. And you see a big difference at the start of year 12 when you go from having sort of 2 hours a week of a language to then 5 hours a week. And then you have like the one-on-one time with the language assistants, that really helps with fluency.
Yeah, brilliant. And so what are your plans for the future?
Well, I have applied to do history and Spanish next year. I'm going to keep up French. And then I'd like to learn another Hispanic language as well, like Catalan or Portuguese at university, and then potentially work for the Foreign Office at some point in the future, but I'm not really sure about my degree at the moment.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Hello.
Hello Jenna, we'll start with you. So, can you tell us a little bit about you and the subjects you're studying?
My name is Jenna May and I do biology, chemistry and French for A-level.
Brilliant. And do you think that all these subjects fit very well together?
Yeah, absolutely, because I'm doing these ones because I want to apply to medicine. And instead of going for all three sciences like people traditionally have when they're applying to medicine, I thought I want to show that I'm the type of doctor who's good at science but good at communication and people. And I think that biology and chemistry gives me what I need for the biomedical side of medicine, but French gives me what I need to be able to communicate with people and to be able to empathise with people.
And is it nice to do a subject that's a bit different from the other two?
Absolutely, because sciences can get really exhausting when you're doing a lot of them. And I think French is kind of your one-stop to all of the humanities in one go. You know, you're doing media, you're doing politics, you're doing English lit. So it's sort of everything I miss about humanities at GCSE, but in one place.
Brilliant. And so what's the best part of studying a language at A-level?
I think it's watching a culture sort of unfold before your eyes, because there's so much music and literature and poetry in French that I adore that I wouldn't have found if I hadn't been doing French A-level. So it's really nice to see French culture and the culture of like the African Francophonie and of Quebec and other parts of Europe just unfolding in front of me.
Brilliant, excellent. And do you think you're getting more fluent? There's a big difference between A-level and GCSE? Or
Absolutely, because at GCSE I could have a really rudimentary conversation, but I couldn't sit there and chat to someone, whereas now every week I'm spending half an hour chatting to my foreign language assistant and we can have fairly full conversations. I've read full books in French. I can understand the lyrics to all my favourite songs, and I'm not entirely fluent, but I'm leaps and bounds ahead of where I was at GCSE, and it's so gratifying because there's so many little milestones in languages, so you just constantly realise how much you're improving.
Brilliant, thank you very much. How about you, Laura?
So I'm Laura, and I study history and Spanish and psychology. And yeah, I'd agree with Jenna May. I do feel like I'm getting more and more fluent. And I feel like at GCSE you do know a lot, but you don't really have the skills to show off what you know. Mm-hmm. So at A-level you do, you almost don't need as much work to improve. So it's really rewarding to start A-level and realise how much you already know. And it shocked me how much I could do. Like, I now read Spanish newspapers, I've taken part in a book club. So yeah, I think it's really impressive how much you know and you don't realise. And then you just sit back one day and you realise how good you are.
Excellent. So why did you pick those subjects?
Well, when I was choosing, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do in the future. Mm-hmm. So I just picked subjects that I enjoyed, because I thought if I enjoy them, they'll open doors up to other things I enjoy. Mm-hmm. But actually now I realise that they all link together really well. So psychology is understanding why humans act the way they do. Mm-hmm. And then of course history and Spanish link together, because history is looking at history. And then in Spanish you look at Spanish history. Mm-hmm. But also how that history affects the modern day and affects culture.
Very good. So what do you want to do in the future? What's the plan for next year?
I've applied to study history and Spanish together.
Right.
Because I love how history helps shape societies, but also how culture is a result of history, but also impacts history itself. Mm-hmm. And I just find it really fascinating, the link between the two.
Mm-hmm. And we know that Jenna would like to be in medicine. What would be the plan and what kind of job would you like to do?
I think I'd like to work for a charity, but I'm not really sure yet. But I definitely would like to maybe live in Spain or a Spanish-speaking country. And I think that's the joy of languages, is that they're subjects where they're always going to be beneficial, even if you don't study them as an academic subject.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much. I hope you carry on enjoying it and all the best for your exams.